Hello and welcome everyone to the Open Mic Podcast, along with Ronnie Phillips. Chris Evans with you here. We are airing this live on Guthrie News page. It is May 18th. Got a few hot days coming up here, and then the cold front, thank goodness, is coming. I don't know how many cold days we have left of the summer, but I am ultimately looking forward to those cooler days.
Yes, it's very, very hot out there. We went from 72, 73. The next thing you know, it's 95, 96, feeling like 100. Working with the school district, it was shock waves through all those schools. Everybody's hot, so we do our best to take care of them, make sure they're nice and cooled down. But yeah, it switched on a dime just like that. So
sources tell me within various I got a lot of friends in different school buildings. Various sources tell me the temperature of the rooms were able to come down a little bit.
They were absolutely. Yeah. It was.
You can confirm.
I can confirm that.
Okay, all right.
As the master of scheduling that I am, yes, it was. Again, we went from 72, 73 to 95, 99. You know, we're expecting those kind of jumps in August. You know, those kind of comfort issues that we were expecting those in August. We weren't expecting those in May. So I did my best to pull some strings, as you guess. I'll take credit for it. So we got those temperatures lowered.
Give it up to yourself. We are without Phil Nichols. Phil has once again left us. He's out of state. I really don't know if I should go any further. No. He's out on business in Omaha, I think, is where he's at. So Michael Pruitt has the house all to himself here in Guthrie. So no Phil tonight. We're starting to get used to it, actually.
Yeah, I mean, he did two open mic podcasts ago, and you said back then, I mean, when you quit once, it's easy to quit again. And it's proven true again. 2 out of 3 weeks.
Unbelievable. So open mic podcast, part of the Second Banana Media. If you haven't heard about Second Banana Media, here's what. It is a podcast network, a network of podcasts, and got some exciting news. I haven't even shared it with you yet. I can't go into detail right now, but we got a podcast coming, a new podcast coming to the Second Banana Media Network. And so hopefully that will be coming out here within a few days, maybe a week or so. But very excited on a new show. So Second Banana Media, a podcasting network, and we invite you to go to all those social medias, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. If you go to YouTube, and I know you probably got a second computer or maybe your phone next to you, go ahead and go to YouTube, look up Second Banana Media, and that's the one with the microphone, podcast microphone, and hit subscribe. And I can tell when you hit that subscribe button because I get notifications, and we are looking for more subscribers. Also on our Facebook page, which has taken off the most, which is usually the case. There's a whole lot more like Guthrie News page, Facebook than YouTube, but we got a good start on Facebook. So like us there. Just go to facebook.com, search Second Banana Media. Same thing with and spell it out. Same thing on Instagram. Now on Twitter, you do have to put the number 2 in the Second Banana Media on Twitter. But subscribe to all those. Right now on the network, we have Open Mic, this one here. We have the High School Huddle podcast. We got the Oh Boy podcast, which debuted last week. We got another one coming on, working on some others, and really wanting to have more people.
Chamber?
The Chamber.
There you go.
Don't
forget about Brittany.
Yeah, Chamber of Fives. Thank you. Chamber of Fives did their first podcast here in the studio on Monday. Bobby Stitt with Mercy Hospital Logan County was here. That's their 9th one altogether, but their first one they doing video now along with the audio podcast. So we'll have that every Monday, hopefully. And let's see, there was another thing. And if you don't like the video or you don't have time to watch the video and you'd rather listen in your car, go to all the your favorite podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, all those out there, and be sure to find our podcast out there. And of course, our podcast here is brought to you by our good friends at Mosquito Authority. And I'll let you talk more about it, but it's just a professional deal from the text messages to the emails to the billing. It's a well put together.
Yeah, absolutely. And we try to take care of everybody the best we can, make it as easy as possible to take care of your mosquito, tick, and fly. And really, you don't even have to be at the house when we take care of your house. We just want to be able to make it as easy as possible because everybody's got all kinds of stuff going on. But yeah, got a big day tomorrow, going out tomorrow, going back to your house and Phil's house.
I got the text message.
Good. Got the text message. So we're going to be out tomorrow. Again, feel free to call Sarah or myself. You can call at 580-380-3460. And again, we'll take care of your fly, which, I got to tell you about the fly stuff, man. We got this spray, and you spray it around the windows and stuff. It's literally the greatest thing that's ever been invented. Like, flies do not bother us at all.
Really?
Yeah. So the flies always go to your windowsill, right? This is the first thing they do is they go to windowsill. So we got some stuff, some bait around it, and the next thing you know, there's 3 or 4 dead flies, and all you do is take your little vacuum over there and you suck them up and you're done. Don't even bother you no more. I
gotta tell you, flies and mosquitoes are the 2 things that drive me crazy at the house.
Yep, flies and mosquitoes obviously, but a lot of ticks are real bad this year as well. So we do tick as well. So just be cautious, be safe out there. Again, their mosquitoes are very, very annoying, but again, it's worse because they carry diseases. They're doing some tests out there in Tulsa, and they had some confirmed cases of West Nile. No human, nobody's gotten bit, but they always do research on mosquitoes every single year, and they've already tested a few for West Nile. So give us a call. We'll take care of you, and make sure everybody's safe and you guys have a good time using your outdoor space.
And I want to throw this out here real quick before we get into more of the show. But there's not a one-time spray. There's not one miracle spray. It takes a couple times to get going.
Yep. Right? So we guarantee no mosquitoes after your second spray. And again, it's a recurring thing every 21 days, which is the life of a mosquito. And again, call us. We'll take care of all that stuff for you. And again, mosquitoes never go away. You can never do that. But again, we can guarantee they won't bother you for the summer, but again, they always come back.
So I do have a question. So how does that work? Like, I have neighbors to each side, and say they go on vacation to mow their yard, and the grass gets a little taller, or there's a bucket of water and they don't dump out or something. How is there like a shelter or a beam?
When we spray around your house, we create what's kind of a barrier. So when they pass those barriers, anytime they touch the trees, foliage, whatever you have, it will kill them. So it does create a barrier. But again, if your neighbor's gone, as long as your neighbor's not gone for 3 or 4 weeks, that bucket of water won't do anything. Okay. What was the other one? Oh, the grass. They won't stay in grass. You don't have to worry about grass unless it's really, really tall and they've been there for a while. Mosquitoes tend to stay underneath leaves and stuff like that, bushes and all that
and mosquitoes come in at night, mostly at nighttime. Why?
Yeah, there's
like we're trying to beat the sun from going down. You're trying to mow your yard.
Well, there's 3 different kinds of mosquitoes, Chris. You know that?
I did not know that.
There's a container species. There's an
annoying one, a dead one, and how do you get rid of this one?
And again, this is all very scientific stuff. And again, once you call us, we will actually ask those kind of questions, Chris. I'll ask you, when are you getting bit? So when you say we're getting bit at night only, or if we're getting bit in the morning and night, we can tell you exactly what kind of mosquito that comes from. So it could be a container species, it could be a temporary or permanent. So we can figure all that stuff out for you. We get it down to the nitty gritty.
I got to tell you, I live in the hood, and so we have 2 boys that play basketball, and they like to dunk the basketball. So we have a couple of bags of mulch that holds the basketball goal from tipping over into my truck, and you say, get rid of that.
I told your wife, so I said, go ahead and get rid of it. Go ahead and plant that somewhere.
To clean up the neighborhood as well. That's a good idea. All right. Well, hey, we appreciate everyone tuning on here on Open Mic Podcast. Again, Phil is ditching us today. He is out of state. And by the way, this is one of our different setup here. Usually there's a couch here, but we moved it out. And
it looks good.
For our video audience, it's a little different look here.
Yeah, so I think they like it because I think they need to see our faces, right?
Yeah,
they need to see this.
See, when you get rid of Phil, you have more room to do stuff. So I didn't think about that. That's pretty cool. Okay, well, I got to tell you, the big thing, Guthrie news page, been kind of busy over the last few days, and it's good to be home, first of all. It's been a busy time.
I was say you actually have time to write your stories up. Next thing, I get on Facebook and I see like 6 stories in a row. I'm like, whoa, he's back to work now.
Yeah, I've been busy with spring sports championships. Maybe we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But the big news happened in Guthrie last Wednesday, I think, Wednesday morning. And you haven't heard about this?
I have
You've
not.
only seen pictures.
I only saw the picture of the lady.
Well, it's interesting. We don't have all the facts right now, but so the main story on Guthrie News page right now, if you go there's a lady, 68-year-old lady that has a lot of bruising on her face, a bandage on her nose, looks pretty bad. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people have probably seen it, and If you haven't, well, you'll be with Ronnie here. So a trooper patrolling I-35 sees a vehicle with their high beams on and within one car length of another car. Pulls that vehicle over. This is at 12:58, like on a Wednesday night, May 11th, whatever it was, May 11th. A week from
early morning.
So early Thursday, last Thursday morning. Trooper, a state trooper, goes to the window, asks the 68-year-old lady, Nancy Kemp, to go to the front seat of his trooper's car so they can talk. He gets in there and he smells odor of alcohol on her. He notices red shot, watery eyes. And I guess they're having a polite conversation. And then, according to the trooper, and I probably want to read some of that because I don't want to miss.
Didn't you write it?
Well, I did, but there's quotes.
Oh, okay.
And Guthrie News Page was able to obtain the report, which I don't think is out there yet. I know I've had news agencies come out and asking for it, and I have not released it because they'll get it later.
So you're going to hear everything first here on Guthrie News Page.
Yeah, no, it's as far as the trooper side of the story, we're hearing a little bit of the ladies' side, but not a whole lot. I think that'll come out more. But so the trooper he has them in the front seat. He's going to pull his vehicle back to give enough room to give a field sobriety test. Got to give him room, got to have enough light and all that good stuff. And that is when the trooper said the Kemp aggressively opened the door and slammed her left hand on the computer in an attempt to take her license before fleeing from the patrol unit, according to the trooper. And then he does that, and then he says they have two guns usually in between them. And he said he went to protect his gun, and then he grabbed Kemp by the neck with his right hand in an attempt to prevent her from fleeing. Well, they eventually go out of the passenger. They both go out to the passenger door.
So he climbs through his driver's side, through the passenger side.
Yeah, it all goes out to the passenger door. The trooper removed Kemp by rolling out there. He ordered her to the ground multiple times in an attempt to put handcuffs on her. However, she refused, the trooper said. In order to gain compliance, I struck Kemp in the face 2 times with my right knee. I continued to order Kemp to give me her hands, and Kemp continued to actively resist by not placing her hands behind her back. I struck Kemp in the face with my right elbow 1 time. I was able to gain compliance and put handcuffs on Kemp.
Oh, so he did some jiu-jitsu on her.
Yeah, kneed her twice, elbowed her once.
Okay.
However, Kemp allegedly was able to slip her handcuffs and off her wrist before the trooper once again had to gain control. So he put the cuffs back on there. He said, I gained control of Kemp and placed her into a back mount for a second time. Kemp continued to resist me and attempted to grab something under her. I successfully prevented Kemp from grabbing the object by striking her an additional 2 times with my right knee to the face. I gained compliance and successfully placed cuffs on Kemp's wrist for a second time. And she was later booked in the Logan County Jail at 4:08. Oklahoma Highway Patrol, the public information officer Eric Foster went on KFOR TV and did an on-camera interview with them, and didn't go into that detail like that, but said there wasn't complying, and the officer had to use force to gain control.
Well, yeah.
So she goes to jail, gets bonded out, was scheduled to go in front of the judge to get formally arraigned, but that has been postponed to June 27th. My guess is the district attorney's office is waiting to see what the blood alcohol content is before having all the information to know whether to file charges or not file charges. Of course, Kemp's side wants charges dropped against her, or pending charges dropped against her, and they want the trooper to be charged. Now, the Kemp's family, her attorney, who is also her friend April Coffin. So I'll go ahead and read that to you here completely here. This is her attorney. Without knowing OHP's official position, I would note that law enforcement officers are trained in, among other things, de-escalation and proper restraint techniques. Most of Oklahoma's law enforcement officers do these things and their jobs well every day. Trooper Preston Cox, who she mentions, however, broke ribs 2 or 8 on Miss Kemp's left side, broke her nose with repeated blows to the face, stomped on her left foot, and left significant bruising all over her face and head, upper arms and lower arms and upper body, and inflicted most of these injuries while Miss Kemp was restrained with her hands behind her back and secured in handcuffs. Any attempted justification of the brutal assault of a 68-year-old great-grandmother wearing a long skirt and strappy sandals, who has a clean record and has no weapons, simply defies explanation. To the extent that she is being accused of fighting back, any struggle was in defense of her life. And frankly, we are all grateful that she made it out alive. We await the Logan County District Attorney's decision as to whether to file charges against Ms. Kemp and as to whether to file charges against Trooper Cox. In the meantime, Ms. Kemp's medical condition is still being evaluated as the swelling subsides, and the family and everyone who knows and loves Nancy is looking forward to see justice done. OHP confirmed with Channel 4 that they do have body camera video of the incident. They're not releasing it right now because it's part of the investigation. And so that's where we stand right now. And anytime I put a story on Guthrie News page, and I put it on Facebook, and right before I hit that post button, I can usually tell how the folks are going to react most of the time. And when I told my wife, I go, as soon as this is going to read, I think 7 out of 10 people are going to side without. We all don't know the information. When it all comes out, I think we'll all, for the most part, will understand more. I think we'll talk about that in a second. I said 7 out of 10 will side with Nancy Kemp side of it, and I think 3 out of 10 will go with the trooper side.
3 out of 10 with the trooper side?
Yeah.
I'm the 3 out of the 10 right now.
It's fairly close. I mean, it's pretty close to the 70-30, 65-35.
Is it?
I haven't really done a scientific poll on it, but I think that's
just my initial thought. This is the first time I've heard this story.
Yeah.
You just everything.
By the way, thanks for reading Guthrie News page.
Yeah, you're welcome. So just my initial reaction to it is this, thank goodness that there's always body cam footage, so we'll be able to see what actually happened. Maybe. We'll hear the conversation. The great grandma, long dress. That's irrelevant because I watch all those shows. I've seen some evil grandmas out there do some very terrible things. But again, if she's resisting, and again, the cop always has to protect himself, right? So you got to protect your guns, got to protect all that. You got to think the worst is going to happen, in my opinion, as a cop. You just can't. If you ever become, off and you don't ever try to protect yourself at all times, that's when bad things happen, right? So I think just listen to, that's what it kind of sounds like to me, that he was just protecting himself and his self. So again, I always side with the trooper. Just because, they already most cops have bad images as it is already. So, again, like to see the rest of the facts come out, which, again, you said we'll probably get a little bit more on that. But bottom line is, if she's resisting, don't resist. I mean, just do what they say. Just don't resist. And again, alcohol plays a big part in this kind of stuff.
It does.
When people, when they resist with our law enforcement, it's because they've probably been drinking. So, again, don't resist, and then good things will happen. All right, you'll get out of there okay.
And I'm usually the one that's really fair on this deal. It drives my wife crazy because I see both sides and I play both sides.
Oh, you and Sarah have a great conversation together.
Sarah and I always have great conversation. Absolutely, because you don't know, but maybe both were wrong, possibly.
Could be, absolutely, no doubt about that. Yeah. I would agree with that.
So there's going to be, I don't know if it's body-worn camera. Maybe there's body-worn camera. Maybe there's camera inside the trooper's vehicle as well that hopefully that had that.
Well, nothing else, they'll have their dashboard camera where you can at least hear everything.
Yeah, correct. Hearing it will be a big deal because I think once both get outside, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, it's dark, it's going to be the camera's going to be close in proximity, so you're not going to have a really good view of anything.
But we can see that she's actually trying to escape the vehicle.
Correct. That's the first thing.
Right.
When we get to see the video, hopefully we'll see that soon. OHP I don't think they're privileged to open meeting records, but I think they'll release it eventually. But did she really hit the computer and try to take the driver's license? Because through other sources, I've heard she was on her phone texting, and I've been told there's actual text message. She was texting a family member that, hey, I'm pulled over, so that part is true. Mm-hmm. But did she hit the computer and try to grab the license? That's the first thing I'm looking for, because that backs up the trooper's report,
right,
as to what happened. Now, once they're outside, yes, you have to use some force, and yes, you have to gain control, but was the force too much?
Right.
And I think in Oklahoma, especially Logan County, it's different nationwide with cop, how cop brutality and all that good stuff. What did he go too far? Not sure.
That'd be interesting because again, once the threat is subsided and there's no more threat, you have to stop.
Yeah,
and I'm hoping that's what happened.
Right.
Because that's what should happen.
And will the video show that she slipped the cuffs and he had to go a second time to gain control?
Yeah, that's a little odd.
Yeah,
that's a little odd.
Well, we hear, put your hands behind your back, put your hands behind your back, quit resisting. Yeah. How long is this taking? And then obviously she got kneed and elbowed.
Oh, she got messed up.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Woo.
So that's what we're kind of waiting on. I did find it a little bit interesting that the public information officer for OHP did go on camera and talked a little bit about that. Usually, if it's real close to them not agreeing with anything, they're tight-lipped. They don't say anything if they think it's really. Now it might be different. That's just what I've noticed in the past. If it's really, really bad, they usually say no comment, or we're not going to go on the camera until we hear more and more about this. But he did go on camera there. So I think that the main thing for me is I want to see the video and the blood alcohol test. What's it come back?
So here's why I think. Again, I don't know. Again, just moving here from Ohio back in August, so I don't know all the rules, all the stuff that they do down in the city. But in Ohio, and we lived in Toledo, close to Toledo, about 5-10 minutes away from Toledo. If anything happened, like anything serious happened, shootings, murders, anything that involved the cop that were to where it made it look like he was bad, they were literally out the very next day or 2 days later. They're showing all the scripture of everything that was saying. They're showing every single video angle that they have. They do Facebook Live on it, and they go through everything. 100% transparency to the public. They get ahead of it. They get out front of it just to stop.
Good or bad.
Good or bad. It does not matter. If it's bad, they will have it out there, and they will say, yes, this is exactly what happened. Here's the video, and they'll put a viewer discretion advise on there if it's a bad video, because I've seen they would show the full video of people getting shot and bad guys doing what they're not supposed to be doing, and they'd show the full video just to be full transparent of what exactly happened. Yeah. And again, I think that's something that a lot of localities should be doing. Get out front of it. That way you don't have the bad media, the bad reps, or anything like that. But again, Toledo, they would be out in front of it within a day or two, showing everything.
So I mean, if she's drinking and trying to get out, I mean that's.
And if you're especially if you're the police department or the OHP, you definitely want to get that out front.
Yeah, I would agree,
because OHP, it's a great organization they have. I mean, if you follow them on Facebook, like I do, they do all kinds of great stuff.
Yeah.
And the last thing they want to do is tarnish the reputation that they have. So
and the trooper's on administrative leave, so he's waiting
sure,
to hear back.
Absolutely.
So it's been a week.
That's too long. Yeah, that's too long.
And it just lingers.
And that's why now people are like, okay, well, what are they hiding? What is there to hide?
Yeah.
Is Miss Kemp is she right? I mean, so now you're placing doubt into the police officers' side of things by holding all this information back when they should have been out front of it, showing everything exactly what happened.
Yeah. So we'll be waiting to hear that. It'll be up to the Logan County District Attorney, Laura Austin Thomas, to decide if charges will be filed on the Nancy Kemp lady, or if charges would be filed on the trooper. I'm sure she's waiting on all the information to come in as well. So
at least nobody was killed.
Yeah,
that's the number one thing.
Yeah.
It's just a few bumps and bruises again.
Well,
whether it's served
they would
or not,
say there's a few more than bumps and bruises.
Well,
broken bones.
Right, we're still alive
nose.
though.
Yeah,
again, but if you look on your screen there, look who showed up to the party.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, this is the only way he's going to be part of the show.
Yep.
So before we get to our next topic, answer some of the things here. Ryan Cotting, how about them dudes doing jumping jacks in the background? I did not see that. That's the cool thing. As long as they're jumping jacks and waving.
Back here?
Yeah.
Oh.
I looked back and I saw a couple dudes just walking. So maybe that's who he's talking about. Phil Nichols, he's again. We wish you well, Phil. Hope everything's going well for you, buddy. We're rooting for you. He's out of state. Don't want to go any further than that, but he is out of state. So the star of the show. It'll be interesting. Our numbers are usually pretty good without Phil.
Yeah, we've had a few good shows since he's not around.
Phil wants to know, why is Chris not wearing a hat? Well,
I don't know when the last time I saw you wear a hat, Chris.
I wear hats every so often. But Phil, if you were here, I'd tell you. Chris Morgan, who won the parade prizes? Y'all know. Well, I bet you I can pull it up here real quick on a text message. I'm guessing you're talking about the 89er parade. It would be not Doug. Let's see here. The parade winners were. Oh, it's got to download. Turn this off. Answering questions on. Oh, it's not going to download. Sorry, I don't know. I had the parade money winners and everything. I know Companion was third.
Oh, with the COVID float?
Yeah. I don't know why it's not downloading. Sorry. I'll try to get those again for you, Chris, but I don't know why that's not working on my phone. I'll try one more time here. Go here, click here, tap to download. It's not downloading. I got the Wi-Fi off. I got my hotspot. Chris, Chris, if I can get him, I'll message you. I don't know why it's not working. Okay. Any topics real quick before I go to my next thing here, Ronnie? We can talk Guthrie graduation here real quick.
Yeah, let's say graduation's coming up today.
Yeah, they had the
or Friday.
On Friday, the students had the academic.
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah,
I got an email for that.
So it was Monday.
They needed air conditioning. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday night.
Why was it 2 nights?
I'm not sure. They just told me they wanted air, and I was like, okay, I'll take care of that.
So graduation is Friday night for Guthrie High School inside the Lazy E Arena,
which they made that decision about a month or so ago.
About that,
they got a real good deal on it. It's hectic to come up with to figure out if it's going to rain or not, and the last thing you want is rain, and it will ruin your night. So again, they made that decision about a month ago. It's just easier for the district to plan it and know that it's going to happen. Plus, it's inside.
Yeah.
With the weather the way it's been, who's going to complain about having indoor air conditioning for a graduation?
And I can tell you, last year during the graduation at the Lazy Arena, it sprinkled. I mean, it didn't rain real hard, but it did sprinkle. When they made the decision, they had no idea what the weather was going to be on Friday. And I'm curious what the weather is on Friday. Isn't that the first day when it's supposed to be cool? Friday's temperature is 89 degrees, 40% chance of rain.
Ooh.
So I don't know if that's during the day or not. So either way, even if it's 75 degrees, clear blue skies, it was the right decision to move it in there. But I got to pull the information up here so I make sure I tell everybody the right date and time.
So while you're looking that up, I saw a few seniors today out on lunch, and asked them about graduation, if they're excited. And he said, yeah, we got graduation this Friday. And I said, so is that the end of school? He was like, oh, no.
Another week.
They expect us to go back to school another week. And I was like, are you going to go back? He's like, It
depends on what your absences look like.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it was 9 back in the day, wasn't it? Is it still 9?
I think it's 10.
It's 10 now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I graduated and I had to go back to school the following week because my absences were not in line.
Well, you're doing newspaper stuff, I'm sure, right? And drama and.
Community service work and all that good stuff. So the Lazy Arena hosting it. The event begins at 7:30, but they are at the parking lots open at 5:30. The doors open at 6 o'clock. Concessions will be available by the Lazy Arena. And I do tell you to get there early. It feels like you're getting there real early, but you probably get there about on time because traffic is long getting out there. In fact, we've had to hold it up last year, maybe 2 years in a row, maybe just last year. And we had to hold it up.
It'll probably be held up again. The traffic is, I mean, if you've never been out to a Lazy event, if you're about to motocross or any kind of bull riding, it takes forever and a day to get out or get in. It's just... It's just one single lane highway. Oh man, it's bad.
But it also, and that's what Logan County Sheriff's Office providing car control, parking control, all that good stuff. And it's still.
What time the gates? They lay them in the parking lot.
Parking lot opens about 5:30. I think.
They should probably
6 o'clock.
make that earlier.
I don't know. Get there early. And enjoy the cool air. And a lot of people usually get there anyway because they got to get their seat. They got to get their seat for their graduate. And if you can't make it, or you have family members who want to see it but can't make it because they live in Hawaii or Pakistan,
serving
or
overseas.
Yep, serving overseas. We will stream that live on Guthrie News page, YouTube. There's an article with the link to the YouTube. You can click the set reminder so you know when we go live. We'll also stream it on Facebook as well, but if you want to watch it on a large TV, YouTube has the better picture by far. I mean, if you want to watch it on your Facebook, on your phone or a small tablet, it'll be available either way, but we invite everyone to go to YouTube. It's a lot better picture. That's how we stream Guthrie football games and all the other big parades and other events that we have. So Friday night, Guthrie High School graduation, and then another week of school, and then school is done for the year.
Well, a couple months anyway.
Parents, you're in. You're tagged. You're back in. Daggone it. I'm on the clock, by the way.
For having to watch kids all summer, or your kids are old now?
Yeah, my kids are good.
Yeah, I got to watch 3 of them.
Their own. That's not a big deal. No, I'll have a senior next year, so
That's right.
I'm on the clock.
Hell, that's been man. So who's gonna broadcast the graduation next year with your kid graduating?
Oh, I'm sure it'll be me.
Huh.
I have a better seat than 99% of the people there.
Yeah, I guess you will, won't you?
Yeah. You know, the scoreboard and principals and superintendent and administration, they sit right there.
If it's at Squires, if it's at
at
the Rock.
Yeah, if it's at Gelsma, I guess I would. Yeah. I don't know. I still have a good seat because if I'm at Gelsma, I have air conditioning.
How's that make you feel? Your kid's gonna be a senior next year.
It's a little weird.
It is a little weird.
It's not. I think I'm okay right now. What's getting weird is when the memories on Facebook when when they're like 8 or 9, and like, dadgum, that was 10 years, 9, 8 years ago. That's what's kind of crazy.
That's been, almost 20 years since 19 years since you brought him up to Cali to watch me play, huh?
Yeah.
That was a long time ago when he was just a baby. Ooh.
So that's graduation. Yeah, that's we got to start looking at baby photos and all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Guthrie High School had their first female to sign a college scholarship to wrestle.
That was awesome.
Kalia Kirk. Going to, by the way, did you like the headline? Did you see the headline?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kalia Kirk signs to be a star, Oklahoma City star. But, of course, she was the first female state champion in Guthrie history, and signed a college scholarship at OCU, which is a good wrestling program over there. I think their coach,
I would imagine.
Yeah, they just finished the coach just finished her 3rd year over there, and so not only getting to wrestle, but OCU is a very high level college as well, private school. Congratulations to her.
She was so much fun to watch this year. I mean, we went to all of them, in Guthrie for sure. We did the state championships too, and at the big house. But man, she was fun to watch all year long.
Hey, for our video audience watching this live, we'd be glad to take any of your questions. We'll get them on the air. We'll podcast this on Second Banana Media as well as all of our podcast platforms as well. Okay, so last night at the city council meeting, you don't know anything about this either, probably.
No.
So the city of Guthrie has boards and commissions. You have like the library board, board of adjustment. You have all these
boards for everything.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Which is good because it's citizens' input, and they're basically recommending recommending body to the council. Here's what we suggest. Here's all the groundwork, all the hard work that we did, so you don't have to work as hard. Here's all the information for you. And now decide the final deal. But that they have 2-year term limits. So you can serve, they're 3-year terms, and you can serve 2 years. In 2016, before 2016, you can serve 8, 9, 10 times. We talked a little bit about this with someone brought it up on the last podcast about term limits and with the school board and all that good stuff. And I'm torn on this, and I'm kind of curious about your opinion here. So all those boards have 2-year term limits. You can't serve more than 2 years. But in 2018, the council did have a amendment to it, a waiver, if you will. They can waive that 2-year deal and vote you in for a 3rd term. But it has to be five yes votes out of 7, a supermajority vote. Now, I'm talking about city right now. Mm-hmm. It'll get a little confusing with school and county here in a second. So I asked that, should the city council members be 2 terms as well, or can they run 3, 4, 5, 6 times for 4-year terms? Mayors are 2-year terms. They can run as many times. Should city council members in Guthrie have term limits? And if we ever talked about it and want to do it, it'd go to the vote of the people. The people would ultimately vote whether they have term limits or not. All the boards and commissions have 2-year terms.
Okay.
City council members do not.
No, none for that. Okay, well, so how often do they run? Every 2 years, city council?
The mayor 2 years, council members 4 years.
Okay, so going off history, how many people run for these spots every time there's election? Is there 1, 2, 6? If there's 10 or 11, sure, you could probably think about that kind of stuff. But if there's only 1, 2, or even nobody, then no, these term limits probably won't be a good idea at that point, because then you're going to have somebody who's been doing a real good job for 2 years, and then you say they got to go. Now you're going to bring in somebody who probably doesn't know a whole lot about anything. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
So I can see it both ways. It just depends on the history. What is the history of when people do run? Is it full-blown, primaries where you have 3 or 4 good people going at it, or is it just one person and then going at it? I mean, I don't know the history of that, so I couldn't tell you. But I'm for term limits at a lot of levels, especially the federal level. But as far as city, I think probably I'm more on the no side on that, just because we don't know if people even run for it.
Yeah.
People don't run for school board. I mean, people ran unopposed.
Yeah. This
past one, so it kind of depends on if anybody runs.
Yeah, I totally agree. It is a tough way. The latest example last night at Tuesday's city council meeting was the library board had 1 spot open. This lady came forward, very qualified. She's a retired librarian from Langston University, and she has a major in library science. I didn't know there was library science.
Give her the job for life. Sign her up like a Supreme Court justice. What are we doing here?
Exactly. Yeah, she's qualified. So she, I don't know the years, but she came on the library board as she served a partial term. Okay. She filled in. Somebody left, so she filled it in. Then she ran for 2 consecutive terms. Okay, so she did the partial, did 2 consecutive terms. Her term expired on May 1st of this year. Mm-hmm. Now, the city resolution says you can only run two terms. But in 2018, they said, well, if you we can do a waiver if we want. And so last night, there's usually 7 council members. Mm-hmm. 1 was absent.
Oh, good.
So you only have 6 members there, and you need 5. You need 5 to pass it, and it passes 4-2. So she doesn't get on. She was the only applicant.
That's my point.
I know. I don't know why.
What's going on here?
Yeah. So there's a amendment.
Council guy doesn't show up for whatever reason.
Well, and that happens.
Is there no there's no absentee balloting? I mean,
no.
Here just recently at the federal level, we're placing votes, from our home in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Why can't we do that?
I think you have to be there. I think that's a big.
Well, I agree with that rule.
Yeah.
But. So there's only a vacant?
But there's an amendment in there, and the council's going back and forth. I need to share a quote, but okay, you can't run more than 2 terms, but there's a waiver in there that allows you to grant that.
Right.
And so is it a case by case deal? I would think so.
Yeah, I mean,
I would, in this scenario, she's the only applicant. Now, if there's 2 or 3, then what do you do then?
Right.
If there's 2 or 3, you like fresh ideas, but you have a lady who has a library master
doctorate in library studies or whatever, which, I mean, she sounds like the good one to have on there.
I would, no doubt.
Without knowing anything about her, I mean,
but if you can only run 2 terms, but you can put her in there if you waive.
But that didn't pass.
But she's the only applicant too. I think last night would have been an easy yes vote for me.
And
Now the next one might not be hard. So do you make it a rule? Okay, 2 terms, no ifs, ands, or buts. 2 terms, you're in. 2 terms and maybe a waiver, or do you just make it cut and dry?
Well, it needs to be cut and dry, whatever they decide to do, because that's
what they got to decide.
That's when you run into trouble.
Yeah.
But again, this goes back to my point earlier: is at the city and local levels, especially in towns like Guthrie, term limits are probably not the best idea.
And that's what the city manager said. Hey, we're having a hard time with some of these boards, and if we're not filling these boards, like there's a vacant right now on the library board, but if we keep having these vacancies, then we can't meet because you got to have a certain amount of people at a meeting to conduct the meeting. Yeah. And if you don't have it there, like the city council, there's 7 members, and if there's not 4 there, then you don't have a meeting. And hopefully, there's nothing too big on that meeting.
Right.
You're going to have a special meeting, which the earliest that can happen is in 2 days after you file for a meeting. So it does put the city council members in a tough spot who have to vote on that because I think Don Channel said it. We look like a jerk if we vote no and don't let that person in, or we just let everybody in. But we let her on, but we didn't let him on.
That's why it needs to be black and white.
Yeah.
Man,
it's tough because a lot of times, like last night would have been easy. I think last night would have been easy as far as putting her on the board. But is that something you want to keep doing in the future? Do you want to keep it case by case? She was the only applicant, which I think would have made it easy if you, just because the amendment is there to allow you.
I can't imagine a whole lot of people are putting in for the library committee.
Well, and it's tough. I mean, a lot of people, the schedule, there's planning commission, there's a whole bunch of different boards out there, but it takes a little bit of time to do those deals. So, I was just curious. But on the city deal, if they have 2-year terms, should the council member have 2-year term?
Well, I would say
keep it all the same.
Keep it the same.
I think that as well, but I'm completely different on county offices, like the Logan County Treasurer, the Logan County Clerk, the Logan County Court Clerk, the Sheriff. I can kind of see where they would be multiple terms. I don't know if that's the right way. I'm saying this on one thing, but on this side I'm not. No one filed to run against Sherry Longneckers, the county treasurer. No one ran against her, I think, for the second election cycle in a row. Mm-hmm. No one's run the last couple of times against the court clerk. No one ran against Damon, the sheriff, this time. But if they were termed out, I'm sure someone would file to take that office. But I don't think.
No, I could see
3 or 4 terms, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see term limits at the county level with that kind of stuff, especially as sheriff. Yeah, because it's at that kind of way. It's more of a respect thing. People respect the sheriff. They don't want to run against him or try to go after him if you're on his side of the aisle, or per se. I guess I don't know. It could be that way.
Probably wouldn't have Damon has a lot of votes, right? A lot of people on his side.
Absolutely.
He's a good sheriff, real popular here.
Yeah, very popular. I mean, he's stood up to a lot of things during COVID. He put his foot down on several things. Came out publicly saying, Logan County, we will not allow this, and this. So I mean, which he got a lot of support from that, which I think a lot of us agreed with.
And Damon's part of the Oklahoma Sheriff's Association.
Yep, he's been to D.C.
Takes a lot of those stances. Political stances, if you will. And I talked to Damon on the phone. Probably talk to Damon on the phone all the time, but about this, when you got into being a sheriff, did you ever think it'd be this political?
Right.
It's a sheriff. You investigate. You ride in the parades. You go schools and have fun. You ever think it'd be this political? You never thought it'd be.
Well, no, I mean, he's a good guy, because I know when we do our football games, we broadcast from Jelsmere or whatever, he's out there cleaning up the stands with his trustees, So, I mean, he does. I think he enjoys that, to get away from this side of it, what we're talking about, So, wow.
Yeah, no, Damon, very, very popular, and it was a huge compliment. No one ran for him, because when he ran for sheriff for the first time, I think there was like 8 Republicans that ran with him. I think eight with him, and then 0 filed the next cycle after that. So I thought that was a compliment to him. So, but yeah, and Damon talks to everybody. He talks to everybody. So far right, moderate left, liberal left. That's the one thing I always compliment Damon on, is he will talk to anybody. I've seen him talk to folks in jail, inmates, and he's done a good job. Yeah,
he does. Back to term limits. So you got the county treasurer, right? Is that a thing? County treasurer?
Yep.
So I mean,
Sherry Longnecker.
Do you really want the same person with their hands in the pot for 25 years? Not saying anything she would ever do anything wrong.
Sherry does a good job.
She does a great job.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know.
But you're going to bring somebody else in who doesn't know anything at the beginning,
right,
and have to go through those struggles of learning on the job.
Yeah, and again,
usually you feel best. Of course, it's always,
and nobody's going to train a replacement.
Yeah, it's always best because the people vote, and it's ultimately what the people want to do. But it's always, in my mind, not all the time, because Damon was in the sheriff's office and he came in and learned on the job pretty quick. Right. But most of the time, your top deputies who've been in the office for a while see how it's ran, then they run for office. Not necessarily the case, but like Cheryl Smith, who is the court clerk, she was under Regina Zemek for several years. Regina retired, she filled in and then took the election. So usually comes within the office, but not every time. Not every time. So is it weird to say term limits on city council members? Yes, for me, but not on county. I mean, it's weird, but there's term limits on state senators, state representatives, the governor, lieutenant governor. They all have term limits.
Yeah, but again, that's a larger scale, like I was talking about. I think the state level, absolutely, it's a little bit bigger. Federal level, 100%, you should have term limits in Congress. Again, I talked to State Representative Mize the other day kind of about this, and he had good points about both sides of it.
Yeah,
which was good.
There is both sides.
Yeah, I mean, he brought some great points, so I definitely see both sides of it. But yeah, again, it's so hard at the county. Again, our county, I'm just going off our county, it's just so hard to have term limits on these kind of positions. So again, who's going to run? Do we have people running? That's the question. So there needs to be a history test, a history lesson to figure out who's running. And again, if nobody's running, that person might be doing a good job and know they can't beat them. And there's no need to spend a bunch of money trying to beat somebody who does a real good job and has the back of the community.
So me, term limits city council, yes. Me, term limits on elected county offices, probably no. School board, probably no.
Yeah.
So I guess if I had to put a big yes or no on the entire deal locally, I would guess have to say no.
You would say 2 out of 3.
I would say 2 out of 3. So I guess no, but I can see both sides. But
I would definitely say no on the school board, because we don't have a whole lot of people that vote for those. Yeah, until we actually get people running for these spots, again, I don't see reason to put term limits on that.
And there's
because if it was bad enough, people would run.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if things are as bad as people say they are, when their things aren't going the way they like it, then again, you have that right to go run.
And council does have races. Usually there's 2, sometimes 3 people running for office in city council deals. So city council pays $1, school board pays 0, and then there's for county commissioners, a sheriff, and all that, they're about 60,000.
Okay.
Ish to do that. So,
so anyway, nobody's doing it for the money.
Not if you're on council or city, but they know that going in. They know it's $0 or $1.
They're serving. That's good.
They're serving. They know that. So, all right. So that is our discussion on term limits. Jake breaks. Do you know what Jake brakes are?
It's a Jake brake.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I read that.
Yeah.
So we're outlawing Jake brakes because they're too loud?
Too loud, yeah.
So what's a Jake brake?
Yeah, it's the
I want to hear you say tell me what
it's
this
the
is.
sound that trucks make really loud. And I think most people know what Jake brakes are. I had to put the definition in the article so I know what it was. But for people who are listening who haven't read the article on Guthrie News page, engine braking, also known as Jake braking, after the developer of the Jacobs brake, that makes sense, is common practice for semis and diesel trucks. It uses the engine to slow down the truck instead of just relying on the brakes. Mm-hmm. So it makes those sounds. And I know what okay, so this council last night voted to prohibit Jake brakes on Noble from the city limits starting on the west side, which is Owensfield area, just a little west of the hospital.
Yep.
All the way on Noble only, all the way to Pine Street.
So there's going to be signs in people's yards now.
Well, not necessarily signs.
So out-of-towners are supposed to know this.
Yeah. Right. So...
Because that's a fairly popular road.
Yeah.
If you're going to Kingfisher, Crescent.
It's a state highway, too.
Right.
I don't know if they're going to do signs or not. They can do signs, but it's prohibit. Jake brakes are prohibit from doing it. And when I put this on news page, I thought, well, it's a story. It's council. I got
6 or 7 likes and be done with it.
Well,
right?
no, I just got it's conversation. I had to write the article. There's like 2 or 3 more articles I got to do from last night's meeting. I haven't got to them yet, including new body cams for police officers. I got to get that story out soon. But there had been people living on Noble complaining of the traffic, which when they bought the house, they knew it was a state highway.
Honey, let's buy this house. Oh, right here on the highway? Yes. Oh, wait, it's too loud out now. What do you mean?
Yeah. We'll get to that in a sec. So, but my in-laws live on Noble.
Yeah.
And we sit on the porch. They have a beautiful porch, beautiful flowers, all that good stuff. And
the hills, it's kind of going downhill right for them too.
Yeah. Yes, they do have an incline right in front of their house.
Yeah.
And we're on the porch, and you hear the like, is that necessary? And I don't know anything about it. I'm going to side on the truckers and people who do that for a living. If they need the extra brake,
right,
go for it. And
yeah.
It bothers me when I'm at my in-laws every so often.
Now you mentioned, I've heard that sound 1,000 times.
Yeah.
It never once bothered me. Never once.
It never. I was like, sometimes like, oh, really? And then you have to, if you're having a conversation like this, and you have to start your conversation over again. But it's like, But whether the signs or not, I know police can still puts police in a weird spot. But if there's no signs, then you don't know.
Right.
So maybe there will be signs. I don't know.
Yeah, I figured there has to be a sign. I mean, it's just like any kind of, again, I worked in corporate war for 15 years. I mean, if there was no sign, you couldn't enforce the rule.
I wonder if that works with speed limit. Like, I didn't know. I was doing 55. I thought it was 70. Well, no, it's 35. Oh, I didn't see a sign.
Where's the sign at? And they say, well, it's right back here. Okay, then you're in trouble. Well, there was no sign. Well, then how am I supposed to know?
Yeah. So it'd be hard to...
Needs to be a sign, Chris.
Well, yeah, if there's a sign, but then you got to have the sign, but then you have to have like a cop in the area too. You got to have a lot of things that... And if you're a cop, it's a rule. It's a city rule.
It's going to be
like anything else.
It's going to pass. I guess it did pass. It's going to be a law. So the first 2 months you might see a ticket for that, but it's going to be like kind of anything else. If it's something suspicious, that gives them a reason to pull them over, right? It's another thing that you can find a reason to pull them over. So again, are they going to force it that much? Maybe at 3 a.m.
Last time I looked, it had 100, and I posted it this afternoon, and it was like 166 comments.
Oh, really? On Jake brakes?
On Jake brakes, yes. I'm about to look up, see where we're at right now. That still shows 166, I think, right now. But you just never know. There was one. I gotta find the comment. There was a few comments on here that I thought was really funny. Someone said, so that's like living near, like buying a house by the airport and then later complaining that the airplanes are making too much noise. I mean, you're on a state highway. I mean, that's right. I thought that was funny. I'm trying to, there was this one, some people shared it several times on here. Studies have proven that the engine brakes, Jake brakes, make less noise than a semi crashing into your living room.
I can confirm that.
So citizens went to the city and made noise complaints, and the council, with a vote of 4-2, passed it on Tuesday. So
it really had to be a lot of complaints for them to even bring it to the floor, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, I like the airplane comment because it kind of reminds me of something I saw on Facebook or something one day where the guy buys a house really close to the airport, right?
Right.
Gets mad and starts complaining to city officials saying, "Hey, it's too loud with these airplanes flying over me." Well, you did basically the same thing. Well, you bought the house, there's airplanes. We're literally right there. There's a guy in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, right? So what he does, he gets on his roof and he paints on his roof, "Welcome to Cleveland." So when passengers are flying over his house, they look down, they see the guy's house, and it says "Welcome to Cleveland," right? So they're up in arms. Oh my God, what are we doing in Cleveland? We're supposed to be going to Milwaukee, and it caused such an outburst with the airport that they politely asked the man to remove that from him. He goes, "Well, no, this is my house. I'm not changing it whatsoever." So what they end up doing, they negotiate with him. They bought his house. They bought him a brand new house away from the airport. The guy's living large, man.
That's big time.
Big time.
That's funny right there. That is funny.
Welcome to Cleveland.
So that wraps up our Jake breaks. Oh man, I almost made a big mistake on Guthrie News page, and boy, I would have got ripped big time.
Let's hear it.
On Jake breaks. I wrote the story last night after the council meeting, and I didn't put it on Facebook because it was late. I shared it sometime today, but as I'm putting it right before I hit publish on Facebook, I looked at
today.
Yeah, today.
Okay.
I'm looking at it and reading the headline because I read real slow to make sure the words are spelled right for the most part. I miss them from that time, but so I'm going over the headline. Jake breaks. I put BREAKS.
Oh gosh!
And the headline, I was like, oh my gosh! If that would have got on Facebook, I would have had, because everybody comes.
You would have had 168 comments about your headline.
Yes, yes.
People love going after that person.
My gosh,
they love to be that guy.
You have to be on your toes. The news page is a little engine that could on those deals. So luckily I saw that before I went to Facebook, because I can fix it in the article. I can go there and fix it. I can fix the permalink but once it's on Facebook, you can't edit it. That's on the headline. Mm-hmm. Now you can edit text, but the headline you can't. So you basically have to delete the entire
post and do it again. Yeah. Well, that don't surprise me. You caught it because doing games with you up in the press box, stuff like that, you literally read that stuff 20 times before we ever press live or we go set.
Here's even more pressure. Here's even more pressure. I got the program for the Guthrie High School graduation. I was working on lower thirds, and I have to make sure every single word is spelled right because it's a graduation. It's a school event, so you're supposed to have everything spelled right.
Yeah, you don't want some dummy down there.
Some dummy, you can't spell. You can't spell commencement,
ceremony.
Yeah, ceremony or baccalaureate or presentation of diplomas. And so I'm literally typing it all out real slow.
Got to spell Lee Grand right.
You got to spell Lee Grand right. You got to valedictorian.
Well, that's a tough one right there. Oh man.
Yes. My program, luckily, in my streaming software does have the red squiggly lines, so that does help me a little bit. But there was no red squiggly lines on breaks or breaks.
It's a proper word.
Right. Yeah,
it's a proper word.
So
that's funny.
Oh goodness! All right, is there any questions, any topics that we need to? Tommy, going back to Jake breaks. It honestly avoids wrecks. It helps to slow down the vehicle so they don't hit anyone. And as I said earlier, I 100% go with what the truckers, because that's
Yeah.
what they do every single day.
Yep.
And if that helps them, then
Let them do it.
You have my confidence.
Absolutely.
Let them do it. Is there one or two people that are going to?
I mean,
Because they see a young couple and talking to their mom and dad on the porch, and they want to be butt heads. Yeah,
Well, I mean,
but most of them are.
now, I mean, we're now contributing to inflation. Think about it, because truckers and shipping, they ship everything we have is so expensive. Now we're going to give these guys tickets for braking. So now groceries are going up even more. $6 gas next week because we charge too many for braking issues.
I think we might. I haven't talked to the city folks about it, so I really don't know what. I think we might have two signs. I think we'll have one side on the west side, one side on the east side. Jake brakes, prohibit. I think it'll be just a nice suggestion. And do what you got to do.
Right. Probably.
Now,
all right,
if
let's pass it, so get rid of the headache.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you start at Pine,
Right.
and get the Cedar, and then get the Drive, and then get the Noble, then you could that person that will probably be warranted a ticket.
Say they take their $120 right there.
Yeah. Well, it'd probably be more. Tickets are like speeding tickets. Some of them are like $380.
They used to be $20 back in the day.
Yeah, that's seatbelt.
Seatbelt.
Yeah.
What's seatbelts now?
I don't know. I think it's still $20.
I always wear
The
mine.
max in the city is $500. You can't. The city can't. A municipal fine is no more than $500 on anything.
Seems kind of steep.
Yeah, I mean that can be whatever ordinance that you. Yeah, not just police, but all that good stuff. So. All right, I don't know. What time did we start? I got. By the way, we have an emergency at the Evans household. Let's see here. Let me confirm this. So our sprinkler system, flower bed's a mess. One line is broke. Others are spraying all over the porch. And also our internet is out until 1:50 a.m.
Well, we need to make sure that the bushes and the trees, make sure those are dry for tomorrow morning.
For tomorrow morning?
Yeah, I can't have them wet.
Okay. I'll make sure we don't water in the morning. I usually
Do not water in the morning.
I usually water when there's no wind in the mornings. So don't water in the morning.
Well, yeah, we spray when there's no wind.
Yeah. All right. I'm guessing the internet's still working here, Connor. Are there two red lights on the top of the our video on the right? There's two videos. The one on the right, is there two red dots on the top? It's like 1 and 2 at the very top. See me waving? Look on the screen. See me waving? Yeah. Is there a 1 or 2 right up here?
Yes, there's 1 and 2.
And it's red?
Yes.
Okay, internet's working here, so
That's good.
just not at my house.
That's tough. Well, you got 5G and all that stuff.
Yeah,
on
I got a couple of
phones,
backups.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So does that mean your mini Wi-Fi won't work?
Yeah, that'll work.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
you're good.
if emergency
good.
emergency
You're good.
situation have the hot
You're
spots. So, well, I guess no one's asking questions or comments. We'll break this podcast up into a couple segments on the Second Banana Media, but the high school sports season is over.
Flew by.
It surely.
Oh my goodness.
You always gear up for football season, which is also softball and cheer and all that good stuff in the fall. And then you get through the big deal with football, and then you get to winter sports. It's not as chaotic, although there's more events with more basketball, more wrestling. There's going to be volleyball at the junior high level. And then the spring sports is just absolutely crazy when you kind of take a little rest from all the state championships in the wintertime with basketball and wrestling. In baseball and spring sports, there's tons more sports, tons more championships, and those finally wrapped up the athletic season. I guess now we are into spring football. Schools across the state of Oklahoma are in spring football, going through their spring drills. They can go 10 days if they want. Guthrie's going to go 9 days. They're going to go 4 days Monday this week, Monday through Thursday, pretty hard. Go easy Friday for graduation. Then hit it hard probably Monday through Thursday next week, and then a little bit easy on the last day of school.
Yeah, I know Coach Beebe's pretty giddy about it. I know he's getting excited. Coming home from work the other day, I saw Coach Beebe and Coach Rice in the golf cart on the top of Walnut, and the boys are running up the hill and heading back down, going back towards the practice field. So yeah, they're getting ready for the big fall season we got coming up. So excited for that.
I would want to be a good football player because then I can be undecided if I want to play football in the fall because I don't want to go through those spring drills and all that.
I'm playing summer baseball. I'm playing baseball this summer.
Let the lights come on. Let the lights come on so I can come out and play some football. But, yeah, that busy time. And then softball just recently had tryouts, and so they're getting ready for their season, which starts 1st of August. So they're practicing.
Yeah.
Will start here pretty quick.
Get softball starts early.
So
Gonna make a run state title this year, hopefully.
yeah, no, that the softball team good. State tournament last year lost a heartbreaker. We were watching that game up in Guyman,
Oh man.
and lost on the final pitch of the game.
And we said it when they're up. We were up 2 runs in the bottom inning, and me and you looked at each other. Man, these are so hard to get.
I've seen this before.
Yep.
It happened.
Real quick, I want to before we go off the air here, I want to make sure that we congratulate the 2022 recipients of the KelPal MTXE scholarship, Memorial Scholarship. Trinity LeGrand and Jackson Harden won those scholarships from the KelPal family. Nancy and Doug Powell. You know,
How many years has that been?
The late great 06.
06.
Late great KelPal, friend of ours, friend of mine.
Years.
So congratulations to Trinity and Jackson on winning that scholarship.
Yeah, cool deal. I know Nancy and Coach BB presented that at the academic event on Monday or Tuesday. Cousin Nate checking in. What do you think it's about?
Softball.
You got the NCAA softball regional starting this weekend as well.
There he is.
Jordy Ball, a little fracture.
Nathan?
Yeah, Jordy. I think she should probably take this weekend off. I think they'll be fine in the regionals. I think.
Now, you say fracture or just soreness?
I think I saw fracture today.
See, Cousin Nate told me soreness the other day.
Well, that's I think.
Or did you tell me soreness?
No, I didn't tell. I don't think.
It might have been Nate.
Oh, it might have been me.
Okay.
But I think it came out as a fracture now. But she's still day to day.
Huh.
And it's her pitching arm too.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't think they'll need her this weekend. I think they'll cruise by Prairie View A&M. I think Prairie View A&M started. Cousin Nate, you're going to be so impressed. I think that if they're playing Prairie View A&M, which I think they are, if not, let me know. Prairie View A&M started the season 0-19.
Yeah, she take that week,
Yeah.
those 2 games off.
Yeah. Now they came on strong and won whatever.
Sure.
But OSU, the 7th seed. By the way, OSU softball takes down OU. Sorry, Connor. Takes down OU.
Yeah.
So OSU wins 1 out of 4 games, and they're the Big 12 tournament champions.
Tournament champions. There's a difference, all right? There's tournament champions and there's regular season champions.
Which one would you rather have?
Regular season, absolutely. That's a lot.
Because
it's a marathon. The tournaments.
Do you
are
get
sprints.
a trophy for that?
Sure do. You get a ring and trophy.
For regular season?
Sure do.
So if you win the regular season and the conference tournament, you get 2 rings.
You probably
and
just
2
get
trophies?
one. You probably just get one at that point. But yeah. Yeah, you definitely want to win the regular season. That kind of expands it and really shows the talent that kind of separates. And I think Nate told me that they're expanding the playoffs in softball possibly from 3 or 4 games to 5 or so. I don't know. He said something about they're extending the series or whatever, which, again, if your team's like Oklahoma State, those are good for you because normally the better team wins those longer series. Yeah. As we saw in the 2016 World Series, the Cubs were down 3-1. And again, they were the better team, and the long series is what helped them.
So, like your conference series, instead of a three-game series, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
the World Series, I think, they're extending it, or they're extending something.
The World Series, they do it perfectly. 2 pools, double elimination, and the winners of each one. I like how they do that.
Yeah, I like that too.
Cousin Nate, they confirmed it a slight fracture earlier the other day. So
thank you.
It came out as soreness, and then. Okay, so this is our first setup to have here, and I see my shadow there, so that's not good.
Well, we're just now seeing it because the sun's going outside. Wasn't there all night.
I know, but so we're trying to work out these fine details like this. I still think the tabletop is probably the best look. It's not comfortable though.
It's not comfortable. Yeah, it's not very comfortable.
Brittany came in with Chamber Vibes for the podcast, and we had all the options. So we got this, we got a couch, we got chairs, we got a table. She goes, "Oh, I like the table." I said, "I do too." She got on the chairs. "Oh, these chairs aren't very good." Yeah. These chairs are for about 20 minutes or less.
Right.
20 minutes or less, but I don't like that.
Well, when we getting our more cameras in here so we can have face shots, because we kind of discussed that in our podcast.
Yeah, see,
text group.
Like during an open mic, it'd be tough. Like if I'm producing the Chamber Vibes or another podcast that's coming soon, or doing Oh Boy, I can be over there at the table being bored.
We're just
to death
talking about
by
Ronnie Phillips. Oh, you're a producer for the Old Boy podcast.
So you guys are gonna have to learn that as well.
So you can switch that back while you're producing our show.
Right here, I'm trying to carry on a decent conversation. I got to go to the comments. I got to look at the comments, see which one to go in there. I can push the button here. I haven't got the switching cameras yet.
So we need a producer.
Yeah, and Aaron has said he would produce. It's just when we randomly, hey, you want to go do a podcast? Yeah, let's go do one.
Yeah, it was very random tonight as well.
Yeah. So, Connor, are you bored yet? Yes. Okay. We better get out of here. I got to go to a house that has no internet.
Are we under hour 43?
I don't know. I have no. Hey, Connor. No, there's not a timer on there. I don't know how long. Oh, I don't think I hit record button. On the very bottom, is there a red button that says REC? Yeah, I don't think I hit record.
Oh boy, so we can.
Oh wait, no. Surely I hit record. I mean, I can download it from here.
Timer says 0.
Yeah, boy, I might not hit
Oh
record.
boy,
I'll have to download it off of here. I can still get it on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No,
You pushed record on that camera though, right?
No.
Oh
No, I didn't do that one either. So, all right. Anything else? We'll give everyone 60 seconds to get in there, get a comment. I think I got all the news page stuff. Oh, the election signs and banners and all that stuff are starting to see more and more.
Yeah. It's nice to see it. It's
got
election
candidate
season.
Yeah.
I don't mind the signs because that helps me. I can put my signs in certain spots
Yeah.
when I see other people's signs.
Nowhere to put them or not
nowhere,
put them.
Nowhere
Yeah.
to put them, not to put them. But the only thing that I do not like about the election season is the radio ads. Oh my gosh. I just want to listen to music. You know, I hear the same one. Vote for so-and-so. Vote for so-and-so. It's the same one every single break, especially if you're on the road all the time driving like we are. It's the same thing over and over again. So that's the only thing I do not like.
Radio and TV stations bank.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big time.
They're expensive.
Yeah.
They bank. By the way, got a couple ads coming on Guthrie news page here in the next couple of days as well.
So any of you candidates out there looking to run and you want us to give you a shout out,
Space is limited.
Give us
right
a call
now.
and we'll for a nice price we'll get your shout out there.
Got one I think coming tonight or tomorrow. Got another one coming. So if you want one, you better get on there quick because the good spots are called for right now. So, well now.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. What are you gonna put
Simpson
up there?
on here. You're lost on production.
I'm turning his AC down to about 55 tonight. He's going to walk in his office cold tomorrow.
See, he just makes a comment. We put it on the screen. We laugh, and we all laugh at Phil.
Yeah,
it's all.
That's all it is.
I mean, he looks like a nice, calm. You're lost without Phil, without production. Instead of you're lost without Phil in production. That's the way.
That's funny.
All right, we need to get out of here. That's been entertaining, to say the least. We'll break some of this up. But a reminder, Second Banana Media, a podcast. It's a network of podcasts. We got one coming probably next week. Hopefully, the first one there will. I don't want to say it yet because I want the person who's doing it to say it. But we got a new podcast coming out. Of course, we have Open Mic. We have Oh Boy Podcast, Chamber Vibes, and High School Huddle. We'll have a lot of that coming up here soon. So we continue to expand the podcast. And if you ever want to host a podcast or have your own podcast, we're glad to sit down and visit with you. It's real simple. Phil has one. How hard can it be to have one? So you still have control of your show. You have control of your audio podcast. We just put it together. And if we put all these together, then people who watch the open mic might say, oh, well, here's a thing about this topic on Oh Boy.
Yep.
And so if you put all these shows together, the listeners can go through all the shows for, maybe they come here to see us talk. I don't know why they would do that, but then they say, oh, Chamber of Vibes. Oh, Bobby Stipp, Mercy Hospital, talked to Brittany. I wonder what's going on at the hospital. Click that. And, oh, here's something about the Blanchard football coach on the high school huddle. So that's the goal here, to put all these different shows together so people.
Business owners, if they want to come on and talk about their business, that'd be a good thing.
And we're going to be having some of those come on with Phil.
Yep.
So
that'd be a
bunch of good stuff. Second Banana Media is what it is. We're streaming this live on Guthrie News page, but if you go to Second Banana Media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, subscribe to those. Of course, it's always free. In any podcast platform, Spotify, Apple, Google, all those audio podcast platforms. Visit those, subscribe, and like. We appreciate it. Everything helps. Also, if you hit the like and share button on YouTube or Facebook, it really helps us out with that as well. So, all right, that'll do it for this week's show. For Connor Phillips, somewhat producing. He knows with the red lights and the recording button's not working. Ronnie Phillips, I'm Chris Evans. Have a great week. This has been the Open Mic Podcast.